Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another broadcast of Chicago Junction from the John DeVita Broadcast Center on Wednesday. Today is September the 11th, 9/11, from on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network. Today the panel will be talking about railroads and model railroads. And now to start today's broadcast, here's our announcer, Mr. Brian.
Hi, thank you, John. And what a wonderful beginning.
I was all over the dance floor.
All right. My name is Brian Ballou. I am a presenter for Operation Lifesaver. A retired Navy sailor, locomotive engineer, conductor. I'm big on Lionel, but it doesn't matter what gauge, I'll play with it.
You're big on everything.
Well, yeah, that's because the trains are so small. You know, I got to be like Ant-Man now. Play with some of them. And we welcome. I know. I made a mistake of looking over.
We're going to have a fun night.
My buddy Ron is sitting next to us. To my right.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ron Messner, and I'm a garden railroad. And I'm also a Vietnam veteran. But my garden is doing very well, considering the weather. And I'm going to be having an open house this weekend. And I'm ready.
Oh, Blanche and I know where we're going to be.
Yeah, just bring Blanche. I don't know about you.
Okay, I'll sit in the car.
If you don't show up, I'll be mad at you. So come back. And then there's Doug across the aisle here.
Yep. This is Doug Kenyuk. I am a longtime rail fan, N-scaler, adjunct professor at Wright College, and a railroad historian. So just like trains, I have a lot of knick-knack type trains at home too, where I collect like the salt shakers and toys and stuff like that. So I got a couple of boxes. I'm trying to figure out how to display it all. Kind of neat, some of the toys over the years. So but I got the unscale, got a little layout up and running, and it's fun.
Oh, that's a good thing.
That's nice to hear.
Yep, that's a good thing. So, what kind of stories are we going to go with first? Want to go all at mine and get me out of the way?
Yeah, we'll get you out of the way.
All right.
Okay.
You usually have some good stuff.
Yeah, you really do.
There's a new cruise ship that makes you feel like you're on a train.
A cruise ship?
Royal Caribbean Utopia of the is a recreation of two train cars with a Wild West vibes. Cruise ships are vacations from hell to the point where, if you're trapped on one, you might need a vacation from your vacation. What better way to get away than to get on a train? Royal Caribbean Utopia of the Seas is a brand new ship capable of carrying over 5,500 passengers. One of the attractions on board is a recreation of two train cars with a Wild West vibe called the Royal Railway Utopia Station. The restaurant is built to look like two full-size rail cars with lavish interiors featuring four-person booths lining the sides, each with its own giant display serving as a virtual window. What diners see out those virtual windows will rotate through the year. The first experience is Western theme with views of mountains, canyons, and gold rush towns. Subwoofers in the seats simulate the vibrations as the virtual train rumbles through non-existent tracks. Again, you're inside a cruise ship. And in addition to the meal and moving scenery, there will be a live show themed characters interacting with each other and the guests. People love the experience of train travel and constantly changing and often wild landscapes, plus the throaty rumble of train cars moving over the tracks. It's all so satisfying. There's a romance to it, especially for Americans. Southwest American food will be served to the 48 diners who manage to snag a seat. The experience is not cheap, though. As nickel and diming you is the name of the game, the recreated rail car costs $119 for adults, $59.99 for kids.
What are you getting for that kind of money?
I don't know. You're on a cruise ship, and you're going to be sitting in railroad cars. Come on.
Oh, come on. They don't even tell you what the menu is?
Nope. Southwestern food.
Big
Chihuahua
deal.
tacos.
Big deal.
You know, I kind of wish I got a tour of the
Of what?
the one railroad car ferry going across Lake Michigan, Badger. And they took the rails out.
Out of the ship? Oh, okay.
And so this way they could just have the cars there. And I'm sitting there going, no. You put the rails back, and this way you have passenger cars welded to the rails. And they can sit and be happy in there.
Well,
That could be their cabins.
Royal Caribbean beat you to it. Okay, another one. Sun Train. Have you heard about these guys? Sun Train. Electrical transmission of renewable energy can be the least cost solution to enable emission reductions when it's not burdened by the challenges to construct adequate resources, which will include permitting, acquisition of land, working around existing infrastructure, and stakeholder positions, not to mention NIMBYs. Rail infrastructure is an existing asset that has historically supported coal generators and now represents an alternative mechanism to import clean energy at a low cost. SunTrend brings an innovative project development solution that moves energy via utility-scaled battery energy storage fixed rail cars. Yes, I went out to looked at their promotional video. 20-foot containers, 40-foot containers, and 50-foot box cars. Big batteries on rail, haul it any place you want. SunTrain and the guys who thought this up found out that California will no longer allow the high tension things to be erected in California.
Oh, you're talking about
The transmission.
catenary.
Yeah, the transmission, for the high energy.
Yeah.
The lines?
Yeah, they have a ban on it. So they were trying to figure out how do you get more energy into California, and these guys came up, let's bring it in by rail. And it says SunTrain resolves massive transmission bottlenecks that are throttling renewable energy development and generation. This is off their website. Utilize more than 100,000 miles of rail transportation in the United States to accelerate the domestic decarbonization. Use existing rail capacity to move clean energy from renewable sources to end-use customers immediately instead of years and decades. Renewable energy from solar and wind farms uses SunTrain equipment to charge customized batteries affixed to rail cars. The rail cars are transported over the existing rail network. Upon arriving at the destination, SunTrain discharges the equipment, which eliminates the requirement for a human operator, is used to deploy the power. That's their goal. It's created by a bunch of guys who are IBEW workers. They used to work for the railroad. They formed this company. They think they'll have the first cars up in 2027.
So this is a power car.
Basically, it's a battery on wheels.
Battery on wheels.
Yeah.
How nice.
And they'll charge it up someplace, and you'll hold someplace else that wants the power.
Well, I can understand that. It could be a good recharging. I mean, they just finished doing the test with the switcher in California. They've been doing for the last several years with Wabtec. And that will, what they learned from that's what's going into the 6,000 horsepower.
Yeah, we'll get to your electric stuff here in a minute or so.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Georgia PSC allows Sandersville Railroad to begin eminent domain process. The Georgia Public Service Commission, PSC, this week voted to allow Sandersville Railroad to begin commendation of land to be used for its Hanson Rail Spur project in Sparta, Georgia. In April 2023, several parcel owners along the proposed spur route challenged the short line's use of eminent domain to acquire the property for the route. But Georgia PSC in November decided that was made in railroad's favor. Although we do not take eminent domain lightly, without it we could not have roads, airports, electric lines, gas lines, and a host of other infrastructure that allows our communities to thrive, said the president of the Sandersville Railroad. Sandersville Railroad will compensate the owners for the property it acquires through eminent domain, the railroad officials said. County will connect raw material producers, farms, and businesses along the middle Georgia region to the CSX rail line. says the lawyers for the residents who oppose the railroad's efforts to force land sales of the property say they will appeal the PSC's decision. Heidelberg Materials is one of the raw material producers, owns the Hanson Quarry along the spur's planned route. Aggregate and asphalt supply company intends to expand its plant near the quarry as well as the quarry itself. And it says here the expansion combined with the Hanson Spur will be the largest private investment. Spur is expected to generate over $1.5 million in economic benefits to the city and create at least 12 jobs immediately, according to Sandersville railroad officials. Nice little story. Railroad wins.
Yes.
Here's one you'll like.
That's a good one.
Yep.
I mean,
Now, next time you're out cutting your grass, think about this. UP deploys helicopters to manage vegetation. Union Pacific Railroad recently increased spending on its vegetation management program, particularly in its use of helicopters, according to the UP Trackside Inside Track website. The helicopters are equipped with suspended saws to trim hard-to-reach tree limbs in dense or rugged terrain. Helicopter removal is an efficient and safe method of controlling bush in areas a high-rail bush cutter cannot reach. By proactively minimizing the risk of falling trees at high elevations, we can restore service more quickly following hurricanes and other natural disasters. The program also uses high-rail trucks and other on- and off-track equipment to spray weeds and cut bushes. So next time you see a helicopter, you know what I keep thinking, that one spy, I was James Bond, where they
Yeah.
just cut through the warehouse and everything. You know.
okay, yeah.
Gatex Corporation has acquired 156 locomotives from Progress Rail for an undisclosed amount. The acquired fleet mix is consistent with Gatex locomotive fleet strategy, according to Gatex, GATX news release. As of June 30th, Gatex North America wholly owned fleet is composed of 111,100 rail cars, 8990 box cars, and approximately 500 locomotives. With this acquisition, their locomotive fleet now will have 650 units.
Do they need that many?
Oh, they're leasing them out.
Oh, they're leasing them out. Okay.
Yeah. And you'll like this last one. This is my last, I think it's the last story. Let's see. Yeah. You'll like this
You
one.
got Progress. Oh, that's the new EMD.
Yeah. So they're not buying GE units. They're buying EMD units, basically. Ready for this one? Union Pacific combats Nebraska's brain drain. Retirement of experienced people, along with the challenges of finding those who wish to join the industry, have plagued railroads for several years. Union Pacific has decided to do something about it. According to the railroad's latest Inside Track, again from their website, in the last 10 years, more than 31,000 college-educated young adults have left Nebraska, according to the state legislature report. As the brain drain of bachelor degree holders persists, Union Pacific Railroad aims to attract and retain talented students through its key partnership with Omaha's Creighton University. Born out of the railroad and the university's shared commitment to enhancing diversity within the broader community, the Union Pacific Diversity Scholars Program equips students with tools to succeed and lead. With 80% of the Creighton's undergrads coming from outside Nebraska and nearly 50% of business students beginning their careers in the Omaha metro area, the program represents a significant win for Nebraska's brain gain efforts. So then it says, since welcoming the inaugural class of 2020, the Diversity Scholars Program has mentored more than 20 students, including recent graduates from Roland Agman, who works as a full-time account manager at the Railroad and Sales Marketing Department. Some guy's name I can't pronounce. After a successful 2.5 years interning in downtown Omaha with Union Pacific, Omaha said that the experience solidified a desire to be a leader in sales and transportation industry. It talks about then, it says, interning at UP enhanced my visibility, blah, 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 blah. In the fall of 2023, the Diversity Scholars Program merged with Creighton's Next Generation Leaders Program to ensure students have both the resources necessary academically and the networks to thrive professionally. The program has enrolled more than 80 students since it launched in 2022, and Union Pacific has hired 34 of them. UP fights brain drain. I'm like thinking, okay, quit firing everybody. Anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, hire back the older people that you furloughed.
Ouch.
All right, Mr. Bryan, you got some electric news.
Oh, yeah, we got electric. Apparently, the testing that was being done over the last several years in California with a battery-powered switcher and having no problems, and they took it through some good tests. Oh, were you sweating because I'm talking now?
No, it's just I didn't get enough sleep last night, and there's one of the side effects.
Oh, okay. So, WebTech is going full bore with the first heavy-duty road unit. It'll be 6,000 horsepower. Power supply is 76 battery packs. And we're turning out 7 megawatts of power. And figuring they could help out on the runs by when the train's going downhill, throwing on the dynamic brakes, they'll recharge the batteries. First engine to leave the plant is, it looks like Lionel's girls' train that it put out in '56 in pastel colors. A pink locomotive. What they were doing is, actually the mine is sponsoring charity for breast cancer.
And this is a mine in Australia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
This is the mine in
It's an
Australia.
export locomotive.
And WebTech actually made a donation to it. And we'll have more going through this one. But okay, here we go to the world news from England, and we were talking about brand new locomotives for the Texas commuter operation, and hopefully they'll do better shopping than Metra. But this one really got me. Maglev Railway for the Moon. From out of NASA. The U.S. Space Agency, NASA, has revealed a scheme to build a railway as part of its plans for the permanent base on the moon. The system will use maglev technology and will be designed to enable resources to be moved over the lunar surface on flexible 3-layer track.
Moon track. Model Railroad did it in the 60s. As their April Fool's joke. They actually had the moon track, but the track, they had the guy in the spacesuit with a suitcase sitting at the station.
Yes.
So how are they going to get this up there?
Well,
Very carefully.
Well, how's everything else going to get up there?
In parts, and then they're going to put it together.
Oh, it ain't going to be on a Boeing ship, that's for sure.
I want to see the 3-piece rail.
Very interesting.
The 3-layer track.
3-layer, yeah.
3 layers, wow.
Exactly when the system known as float, flexible levitation on a track, may be created on the moon is unclear. A prototype is being developed.
Moontrack.
Moontrack, yes.
Moontrack. Oh, yes.
Just what we need to do. We can't take care of our railroads here, but we're going to put a friggin' train on the moon.
With a maglev system.
3 layers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, China supposedly has a now 15-mile maglev, and they're thinking about expanding it and using it to start replacing their high-speed trains. If this works out.
Well, they've been doing a lot of. They took over when the U.S. stopped.
Yep. And Germany stopped, too, because they had the M5 or the 5A or whatever it was. That was a pretty good system. And then the Japanese are still fooling around with theirs.
Mm-hmm.
That's gone basically nowhere. They got their, 3-mile test track, and that's it. So it's...
Yeah, but they were mocking up the miles on it.
But yeah, well, it's an expensive technology right now until they can figure out how to get the cost down. It's, you know,
Well, they talk to Disney.
That's true.
Oh, really? Come on. Disney knows everything?
No, you want a monorail, you talk to them.
They've got the monorail.
Okay.
And it's not a high-speed one, howsoever. But
So what else is going on with the electrics? Go back to the Texas one. Who's building it and stuff?
Oh, Texas. Well, okay. Texas commuter operator Trinity Rail operates services between Dallas Fort Worth. Have offered 5 SC-44 Charger locomotives. New locomotives will be delivered in 2026 and will be built in California. That's where ours is. Contract is valued at $66 million. Current fleet consists of 6 1988, 1994 built EMD F-59 PHs. Locos, second-hand from Toronto operator Go Transit. 2 newer 2001 59 PHIs have new from EMD. 2 older ex-Amtrak FP40s will be retained, but stored. The new fleet of 5 Charger locomotives is designed to replace the F40 PH and the older F59 PHs.
Which means Metro will be in there buying them.
Oh, yeah. With more Chargers planned, if finance is available, to replace the other locomotives by 2032.
At least Texas is upgrading their stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah. At least they're going to be upgrading it not with used units. But see, you know, good. Most of the used units, good for spare parts.
Yep. What's the status of those electrics or the batteries that Metro bought? Are they still messing around with it? I thought they are supposed to be getting them next year.
That's what we hear. There's nothing have come out on it.
Still talking.
You're waiting for Home Depot to open to get the batteries.
What's interesting, they came out with railroad technology. Basically, talk about like some of the information I got from the battery locomotives. And they have other stuff in there. Pueblo underwent a remodel. Pueblo's where all the tests are being done. And
so they basically upgraded the place.
Yes, they did. Track-wise, they've upgraded. And they still haven't gotten rid of the Taglo cars.
Still got them there, huh?
Yep. They got them there and they're running them.
Well, and they're still in operation up in Wisconsin. You go out there, Virtual Rail Fan, you'll see them come by all the time.
Yeah.
They didn't get rid of all of them. They just got the ones the three sets that Oregon didn't want it. Washington kept theirs.
Yeah, and they forced Milwaukee to get rid of theirs. And that is still. I don't know who said they were unsafe. Or
I don't know. They were running fine in Spain. I don't recall any major accidents out there. I mean, they had an accident, because it's on one of the accident things.
Yeah.
Well, but that was engineer
error.
Yeah, he was going too fast around the curve, and it just hopped off the track. That's not a fault of the train, and they still don't know what the engineer was thinking. So it's and then the one that up in Washington that was after the fact. That one that crashed up in Washington.
Oh, that one in Washington was so mishandled.
Oh, yeah, all the way up and down, left and right. There was enough plane to go around for like 50, 60 people there.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's, you could, the blame game was going on. More fingers pointed than Carter's got a little.
If I remember right, the engineer wasn't really familiar with that section of track. I don't even think he was. He only went over it once.
Yeah.
And then the sign to tell him to slow down was too close to the curve, and there was a whole bunch of things.
Yeah,
and he had management in the cab with him. No, don't slow down, keep going.
They just seem to. Everybody knows better, or like you're saying, if they're supposed to slow down, and the sign is at the curve, how can you slow down at the curve?
Yeah, not without hitting the emergency brakes or something.
Right. Yeah. So that definitely would go off the track.
So it's you watch that stuff. It goes back to the Union Pacific brain drain. It's the employee's fault. Fire them. Oh, we don't have any people to staff the office. Well, duh.
Well, it's like that incident last year, CTA, the snowplow.
Oh yeah,
on the track.
Yep.
And they're saying it's the guy that hit him fault. It was his fault.
That's not his fault. He's supposed to be on that track. The snowplow wasn't supposed to be there. Usually they did that testing overnight when the thing wasn't running.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, they said, well, he had the paper. He knew he had to slow down.
He still would have hit him no matter what speed he was going.
Yeah.
Of course, on the other hand, there's the one they tried to make the new pathway to the terminals. Remember that one? Went right up the yellow escalator.
That was good. That was good. And she fell asleep at the throttle. And everybody says, well, why are they doing it?
Well,
how many hours was she off?
Yeah. And I heard that, well, what happened to the dead man switch? To wiggle the thing, I think. But I don't know if they got a dead man switch in the L cars.
Just
it is.
It is. It's funny, but it's just happen. Oh, I think we better improve and do something better.
Well, that's it. That's
much money to put onto the
sure.
problem, When the brain that said no was.
Is there something in there about the hydrogen trains?
Yeah, they did it. They do have a story in here, and they put pictures of the Tesla locomotives on the Florida East Coast.
Florida East Coast, yeah.
And they're showing the ones that are doing with the LPG.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's basically the way the hydrogen trains are going to be run. You got a tender in the middle, and locomotives on each end.
Yeah, everybody goes, how come we don't have more hydrogen? I go back to the 1920s, 1930s. and see how gasoline was transported and all the accidents that swirled around it. It's exactly the same thing that's going to happen as they expand out hydrogen.
Well, you sit there and go, remember the Hindenburg?
Yeah. But I mean, it took a long time to learn how to transport gasoline safely.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a long time to transport hydrogen, transport natural gas. Right now it's done in pipelines. And of course, the NIMBYs, no more pipelines. Okay, we'll put it in trucks and tank cars. Oh, no, you can't do that. You can't go through my community with those. Okay, so how are we supposed to get from point A to point B if we can't move it from point A to point B?
That's
Oh, I don't know, but it's somebody else's problem.
yeah, somebody else's problem, right? But I need the gas. Then how am I going to get it to you if you're holding it back?
And again, it's the NIMBYs. They're having a whale of a good time. Not in my,
Not in my backyard.
let's put it in that neighborhood over there. And of course, those people will, no, put it in his neighborhood. And it gets put nowhere instead.
Yeah, here's the image of what the...
Yeah,
But-
I know.
but-
You can see those on Virtual Railfan when they go fly by with the Brightline trains and the next track over.
No, I'm talking about the look.
Oh, the new one.
Yeah, this is with its tender
Oh, okay.
for the hydrogen. This is what the concept is going to look like.
Okay.
But
don't-
again, the good article, is it the future? That's a good question. Because you're going to have, there's handling problems right now. It is volatile.
Short-term substitute for diesels can eventually give way to zero-emission technologies.
The last turn of the century, 1900, 1895 through about 1910,
Mm-hmm.
People's Gas, or the Forerunner, whatever it was called, Evanston Gas Company and stuff like that, they would get shipments of coal, cook it to get the gas out of it, and pump the gas into the lines to serve the houses. Trouble was, what'd you do with the leftover stuff? Well, they just dug a hole out back and dumped it in there. And then when People's Gas finally consolidated, they closed all those things down because, meantime, a pipeline was built up from Texas to bring the gas, so you don't need to cook the coal any longer to get the gas out of it. Now, what happened to those out back holes? Well, when I was up, they were working on the other side. I was on Church Street, on the other side of the tracks towards the lake. Pits. Pits was benzene and half a dozen other chemicals you don't want to know about. It took them 3 months to clean it up.
No kidding.
And they said, well, we didn't know it was there. And the guy goes, Sanborn maps. Just look at them. Go back to 1890 maps and take a look. They're all over the place.
That's too much work for them to
Yeah,
do.
exactly. So that's what's going to happen here is that, we'll get the hydrogen and somebody's going to say, oh, okay, we'll put the stuff out back. No
Well,
problem.
like this is an
Luckily, we've got EPA
example
laws now.
of one of the engines that they're testing.
Okay.
Single piston,
That'll work.
hydrogen engine.
Be a simpler engine we got now.
Yeah.
People just don't want to progress or get, because it's
Yep.
Yeah, they come up with an idea and then they don't, a lot of no follow through. Because, he's complaining about this. We haven't heard Congress yet.
we have to rely on the government to do everything.
Yeah. Now here's the 6,000 unit hydrogen unit.
Okay. Where's it operating at?
Up in Canada.
Yeah, but it'll work up there. It gets nice and cold, and hydrogen will still burn.
Yeah. It's going to be working up there, and it'll make its
Couple
way
that
down.
with a battery locomotive, and boy, you can have 12,000 horsepower.
Yeah.
Because the batteries don't work well in cold weather, and they don't work well in extremely hot weather.
Yeah. Well,
Ask the Tesla owners who cars die in the middle of nowhere when it's winter and snowing out. And they're not exactly happy.
How true that is. I didn't realize that was going to happen.
And you also lose range, too, because even if it's not super cold, it's like around 20 degrees, 15 degrees, you lose about 30% of your range on the batteries.
In fact, I heard something on the radio. People, they were talking about a battery that they developed. It'll get like
600 miles. Yeah, that's the
600
one in
miles.
South Korea. They came up with it, and the Japanese came up with their version of it. It's going in starting in 2026 or 2027 high-end models of the cars first. Figure, okay, let the rich shake it out first, then we'll get it by 2030 because it'll filter down to the regular production cars.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, 600-mile range, solid state, so weather won't affect it too much.
That'll be
Good,
interesting.
nice technology.
Yeah, that should be very interesting.
Yeah, they announced it about 3 months ago.
Yeah, I heard something back then that I hadn't heard anything, and now over the last couple of weeks.
Well, we'll see what goes on. And again, for the railroads, that would be the solid-state batteries. I'm still waiting for the Sun trains. So I just can't imagine where they're going to load up the batteries. Because you know that in Nevada they had that big round solar panels that would point the panels to the thing in the middle to heat it up.
Yeah.
That company went bankrupt. Those things are sitting there doing nothing right now.
How nice.
Yeah, so they're not doing any power.
They're not.
They're not producing any power because the company went bankrupt. Couldn't get enough money for electricity. I know. It's absurd as all hell. I'm sitting there listening to this going, I'm getting my little daily video update, and I'm like, what?
Oh, my God.
Guy goes, next time you fly over Nevada, look down. Those things don't work anymore. Company went bankrupt. Well, yeah, the other one, what's that one that Obama gave a couple, $58 million to? They went bankrupt, too. I don't remember the name anymore, but they're supposed to be making solar panels for everybody.
Yeah, he also came up with some good ideas for going on vacation.
Good, let's hear it.
10 must-see engineering landmarks.
Royal Caribbean.
Oh, speaking of Aurora, have any of you guys gone up to Volo Museum?
No.
With
Haven't
the
got
new
there yet.
exhibits?
No.
Okay. They do have the two passenger cars from the Wild Wild West.
Went by there with a buddy because I went up to Milwaukee to ride the streetcars. On our way back, we swung down their driveway, and I got pictures of the locomotive that's on display next to the highway
Yeah.
with the passenger car.
Yeah, they went and painted that up and all.
Yep. We didn't stop. We were
Yeah.
we were trying to get home, so.
But still, when you go when I went into the parking lot, we saw the two locomotives are outside.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not locomotives, the baggage cars.
Right.
And the two Wild West cars are there. And I'm sitting there and I look up. And there is a locomotive there
Mm-hmm.
with rubber tires. It was used in a movie when an earthquake happened in California, and it went driving down the middle of the street, no track.
Just like the Titfield Thunderbolt.
Yes. And then we have they had part of a partial cab in there.
Mm-hmm.
Engine number 777. Lead locomotive in Unstoppable.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so, somebody cut part of the cab off and stuff.
Well, yeah, Hollywood does that. We went out on our honeymoon. We went out to California, went to the Universal's studio tour, and they had half a steam locomotive for filming.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look behind it, and there's nothing there. But there's the half, and actually the wheels would turn, the thing would steam and everything. But it was half a locomotive, like they cut it in half lengthwise
Yeah.
for filming. And they had maybe about the length of this house, half a track that
Yeah.
they can go back and forth on. It was kind of neat because, they were showing them setting up some they got their little town that they film in there. And
Yeah.
the guy's like bringing the tree out because the tree is sitting on two pieces of wood, and there's the tree, and the guy's painting the grass green, getting ready to shoot. It was kind of interesting that they paint everything: the grass, the bushes, the trees, the houses, the street lights. I mean, everything's painted. So it was kind of interesting. They take the Universal tour, they show you all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting.
Yeah, going into the building. Was King Kong inside one of the buildings when you went?
No.
No,
we went there right after Jaws, so they took us over to the swimming pool to show us the shark.
Oh, yeah. Then you went to Cabot Cove. Yes.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you look
I
up.
wouldn't want to fall in that water, though.
Yeah. And then you...
That clean.
Oh, yeah, that was that clean.
And then you had... then all of a sudden you look up the hill and you see the house.
I don't recall, but it's been a long time ago.
Psycho.
Back in the 80s when we got out there. So,
Yeah, the Psycho House mansion.
I'll have to ask Jan if we saw the Psycho House or not, because she would have probably saw that.
Yeah.
I was busy looking for the trains, so.
I'll tell you what.
Rails, what's going on?
No, a bunch of us from the, several of us from the ship, we'd go up on a weekend, and we'd have fun there. Jeez.
See, we stayed in Orange County, and we went south from where we were at. We were just off the Disneyland, and there was like a little shopping mall that had a live steam diesel track wrapping around that would take you to all the stores. I mean, you could drive in and walk, or you could take the train.
Yeah.
But I can't find the name of the place. I don't even know if it's still in business or anything, but sort of remember that.
Well, yeah, we had. We had fun. Well, in fact, one time we went up, and they took us there, and they were talking just before they were going to take us into the, effects room.
Mm-hmm.
Do the floating with the suits and all, and they took away the fun of what was causing the sparkles on Flash Gordon's rocket from the cereal. They had the actual models of the ones from the cereal.
Yeah, the little tiny ones, right?
Yeah.
Some guy just bought the full size models.
Did he?
Yeah, I was reading. It came up on Facebook. Something. I was going through something. They say, "Oh, you might be interested." Let me see what's this about the movie memorabilia. And the guy bought the one that's about the size of this room, so it's about maybe 4 feet high. And then he bought the life size one where you could actually walk in and out of it. And he bought them.
Oh, from the movie?
From the movie, yeah.
No. See, I was talking about the ones with Buster Crabbe. We're talking the ones
that came in the cereal
30s.
bottles. Yeah.
No, the 30s.
Oh, okay.
The cereals, the 12-part cereal.
Yeah.
Now I got a TV version of it. I didn't realize they did Flash Gordon TV in the 50s.
Yep.
I know, because I got all the stuff on it now.
And given about another 2 or 3 years, you'll probably see Flash Gordon again.
Oh, yeah.
Because Hollywood has no imagination, so they'll say, "Oh, it's been 30 years since this movie's been made. Let's make it again."
I'll tell you.
Maybe they'll improve on it.
And they're going to keep doing it until they get it right. Anyway.
No, I'll tell you what. I got to admit, Max von Sydow, he made a good Ming.
Which guy?
Max
somebody.
Sardo? Sardo? I think I know who you mean.
Yeah. He was a good Ming.
Oh, yeah.
He was a good Ming.
Yeah, he was. He played his part well.
Oh, yeah. He did.
There's the alternate version, Flash Gordon.
I got that, too. My wife actually likes it.
It is a funny movie to watch.
It is.
Especially when they keep calling them. I can't say the names because it's going to go over the internet and we'll get dinged. But, yes, you're a holiness.
Yeah. And then yeah, I mean, but let's face it. I think the best thing in that whole movie is at the end. That the claymation.
I haven't watched it in a while, so it's
The claymation and then he goes, "You shot me in my
yeah, that's a interesting movie.
It is.
It's fun to watch.
It is.
You know, how many ways using swear words can you address the ruler of the kingdom? They came up with about what, 5 or 6 of them in the movie.
Oh, some really good ones.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
It sounds like they're really politically right.
Oh,
That's what I'll show at the movies.
there you go.
That way they won't bother me no more. Potluck dinner.
That's a good one.
Well, okay, I'll tell you what. I got a better one.
Uh-oh.
I have a better one. What was one of the most fantastic shows during the 50s, 60s, into the 70s? Smile.
Oh, can
You're on Candid Camera. Alan Funt made a Candid Camera movie. And they made it X-rated.
That's right. Yeah.
They put an X-rated on it because they showed full nudity.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there and I'm watching it.
And they got away with it?
Oh yes, but it was X-rated. That's why they got away with it.
Okay.
They followed through and
The movie guidelines, yeah.
Yeah, movie guidelines, and they actually had 3 different audience critics to see what the film was like, if they enjoyed the film, and they had some of these old grandmothers come out. Trust me, I believe my grandmother was there. I swear. She took a trip up to New York, and I swear she got to be one of the audience members. Oh.
Still won't beat Snakes on the Trains, though.
Oh, no. No, it won't.
Yeah, that would be a good movie to show at the potluck.
Yep.
Trying to think of some other good movies like Snakes on the Train, but I'm drawing blanks right now. Oh, I know there was one. There was a Japanese one where they show all the people getting on the subway car and they're flying through the tunnel. All of a sudden the lights go out and then the lights stay off, but they come out of the tunnel, but they're no longer in Tokyo. They're in what Tokyo looks like after a major disaster, and there's nobody on the planet left. And they're all like, this whole subway full of people start getting off the train, and they're looking around, and everything's destroyed, overgrown, and now they got to figure out what to do. Meanwhile, they flash back to Tokyo, and the guy's going, but the train went into the tunnel, but it didn't come out the other end. As it disappeared. I don't know what the name of it, but it comes up on my recaps all the time.
Oh.
Yeah, YouTube has things called movie recaps. If you put that in as a search term, they have all these movies where people will tell you hour and a half to 2 hour movie. They'll tell you the whole thing in 20 minutes. The whole plot, everything. All the main characters, the whole plot line, everything. So you can get caught up in it. And then I'll watch those and say, maybe I'll actually, a couple of the movies, I actually did watch the whole movie for the hour and 30 minutes with the recaps. Most of them are not worth it.
Okay. Well, let's get back to that vacation.
Yeah, let's go back.
All right, we're going to go.
Let's go. Number 10.
Let's see.
Got to start backwards.
Now we got to start, forward. That's how they start. They just said 10 must-see.
Oh, okay, 10 must-sees.
All right. First, Hellgate Bridge.
Yep. I agree with that. How's your model of it coming along?
Done.
Done? Good.
Made it. Granddaughter helped me. Made it out of Legos. Anyway, so you got that. And then Storuca Viaduct in Pennsylvania, just outside of 75 feet high, and going across the valley. And tracks were owned by the Erie at the time. Number 3, horseshoe curve.
Yep.
Definite engineering landmark.
Okay.
Okay, then we have me putting my glasses back on. Get my cheaters.
Number 4.
Number 4, Old Fort Loops. Old Fort, North Carolina, 13-mile section of the former Southern Railway. Is certainly full of twists and turns with tunnel after tunnel. Between Old Fort and Ridgecrest, North Carolina, the line mainly follows Mill Creek as it transverses the Carolina Piedmont. While Mill Creek Road stays close to most of the route, Andrews Geyser along the way is a one-stop shop to witness.
So who operates that section?
Norfolk Southern.
Oh, okay.
Number 5, the Georgetown Loop,
Yeah.
Colorado.
Yep.
All right, that's a good one.
Yep.
Yes,
been
it
there.
is.
I've been there.
Georgetown, Colorado. The bridge was demolished, and they got parts. Union Pacific gave them some of the parts to put it together. And on their drill weekends, Navy Seabees reconstructed the whole bridge
Cool.
and rebuilt the loop.
When did this take place?
They rebuilt it in 77, 78.
Okay.
All right. And that's Devil's Gate Bridge itself on the Georgetown Loop.
Next one.
Tehachapi Loop.
Yeah. Go with that.
Tehachapi, greatest railroad theater in California. Then back to Colorado for number 7, the Moffat Tunnel. Continental Divide. Okay.
Where
British-
at on the Continental Divide?
Huh?
Where on the Continental Divide?
Inside the tunnel,
Oh, okay.
Moffat Tunnel.
Okay.
Rogers Pass, British Columbia. Sort of like Moffat Tunnel. Good old Donner Pass.
Stopping for a snack.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Donner Pass.
Are you sure these are buffalo wings?
You bad boy. And then Cascade Tunnel.
Okay.
Those are the great railroading engineering landmarks. Bless you.
Thank you.
So if you people are in the mood,
Yes.
some things you might want to check out.
A tunnel here, a tunnel there.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. For Ron Smallin.
Yes.
Ron will be happy to know after 5 years of of them dragging their feet trying to stop relaying the trolley track in Philadelphia, they're back to running.
All right.
They are back to running.
Yeah, when we were up in Milwaukee, the trolley was doing all the tracks, because there's 2 routes, but they combined them, so the thing was doing the whole
The whole
thing. So we rode the whole thing, And it goes through one building there, which is kind of neat because we're up in the balcony taking pictures as it's coming around the curve and stuff. And just recently they broke it back into the 2 routes now.
Well, considering Philly's the one that sold them, there's trolleys that they got up there.
Yeah, it was kind of neat. There was some teacher had a bunch of students they were riding, and he was explaining how it works and the pantograph works and stuff. So we just stood there, listened for a few minutes, and then went and hid in the car because it was the next one out. So we figured out what the heck. They were staying there to go take a tour of the barn. The employees are enthusiastic about it. They were more than happy to talk about it. To hop up there.
They are enthused about it.
So it's kind of nice, we were chatting with them and chatting with the not the conductor, the motorman, motor person. So yeah, and they said, "Oh, well, hang on." Then we got delayed by a garbage truck for some reason. Car trolley comes out and stops. There's a garbage truck in front, and we don't know where the driver is. So sat there 10 minutes till the guy came out and moved the truck. So now the trolley's 10 minutes behind. So it got to the end of the line where they switched back. And we were ready to get off, and say, okay, we got 10 minutes to kill. And she comes out and she goes, "Hey, guys, I'm going to be leaving in 2 minutes because we're behind schedule." Okay, so everybody got piled back onto the car. And that was nice. Most of the guys around here, "Hey, watch this. I'm closing the door. You can run all you want."
Oh, yeah.
They only run one train or one.
No, there was multiple streetcars running.
Oh, there were multiple.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're like half hour apart type
Okay.
deal. And because of the garbage truck delayed it 10 minutes, by the time I got to the end of the line, they turned right around and went back out again.
Okay.
Because it's one of those, it's a slip switch. Pulls in. Then when they pull out, they switch to the other track.
Okay.
So it was just interesting. Like I said, they're very enthusiastic about it. They're more than happy to answer any questions, which is kind of nice.
That's good.
So Train Fest is supposed to be up there, and I think it is Milwaukee Fest. It's supposed to be right off the trolley line in November, I think.
Yeah, it's November.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I took the...
That's at the...
It's called
begins with a B. Barnes...
Barnes and Noble Center?
Yeah, Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
But it's... it's not the big convention center. It's a smaller one.
Yeah, I mean, I took Amtrak up to meet my buddy up there, and I tell you, the Amtrak Kauai service, that's nice.
Yes, it is.
I don't understand. They're telling us that it's overcrowded. Not when I rode it, but there was only me and 2 other people in the whole car.
See,
But I was also riding at 10 in the morning too.
Yeah.
Well, of course, at 10 in the morning, you're not going to have.
Well, that's what some of the problem is. They want to run more trains, and you have your NIMBYs.
Yep.
They do not want the siding put in.
So yeah, I went and took Metro to Glenview, caught the Amtrak train up there instead of going downtown.
Mm-hmm.
That was a nice ride. Interesting.
Yeah.
The airport stop was under construction when we went by, so they got a temporary station there. So I'm not sure what they're doing there. And Milwaukee Station's nice vendors. Very interesting layout.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice. Got some train riding in this summer for a change.
That is nice. Speaking of travel, want a good, nice train?
Yep.
Can go to sleep on and come back, get something to eat. You got 2 luxury.
Oh, across Ireland, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Riding the cars. The Hickory Creek is the observation car,
Mm-hmm.
snow side. And the other is a stainless steel sleeper, I believe, or diner. And they're offering rides on them and everything.
You know what cars I'd like to ride? The Patrick Thomas Creative Promotion cars. Have you seen those? The 2 white ones?
Yeah.
The dome. I wonder what they're like on the inside. That guy rides them all over the place.
I would like to see that.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
They were just recently in Chicago. I don't know where they're at right now, but they were in the area 3 weeks ago.
well, we'll just have to put out the snoopers.
Well, the guy apparently likes to travel between here and L.A. because you can catch him on the rail fan cam every so often. Luckily, the guy who runs a virtual rail fan, I think he's in Cincinnati. He's in Ohio someplace. He will always put that on his grab bag, the summary shots. Oh, look at this. So that's how you know where they're at.
Yeah, it gets me is I want to see what the prices are for the Virginia City. It's up for sale.
Oh.
And you're saying,
Oh, no, it's probably more than my phone bill.
well,
More than your phone bill. Listen to this.
well, what it is, they're trying to put such a high price on it because of who owned it.
Oh, okay.
Lucius Beebe and Charles Clegg.
Ah, okay. So he's trying to get premium because of the... Yeah, but how many new rail fans know who these two guys are?
Well, then they don't have many railfan books then. They're the ones started.
Yeah, but those books are out of print. And if you go to Ron's books, like in Trains Magazine, they want $150 to $200 for the book. New rail fans are not going to pay that price for it. So again, we're getting into that. We know who these two guys are, but you talk to somebody, 25-year-old, who's that? That has no meaning to them.
Yeah, that's true. Well, who wants an observation car sleeper that has a?
But where would you put it?
There's room in the yard, no problem.
Oh,
We'll just knock the fence down between you and me, and Tony can shut up, and we'll put the...
tear down their garage. And
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like a winner.
Well, you get out there. I mean, it does have a chandelier in it. Fireplace.
I mean, I looked it up. What it would cost to rent one of those cars, that the private cars, and hook the Amtrak? Runs about $5,000.
Now.
Yeah.
What used to be.
I keep hoping to win the lottery so I could do it.
So do I.
Yeah, some dude in Texas won the Mega.
Huh?
The Mega Millions got won by somebody in Texas.
Seems like always elsewhere.
Came up this morning on my WGN feed, and I looked at crap because I bought a ticket. Yeah, I figure, hey, if they tell me somebody in Bentonville won, I'll go grab my ticket and see, because that's where I get my tickets from.
We can try.
I'll settle for second place, no problem.
Yeah.
It's what, like 250, 300,000, no problem.
Yeah. Works for me.
Yeah. So we call it a day.
I believe we should call it a day. He's yawning too much. Okay, John.
Just scroll that way for all the pictures.
You have been listening to Chicago Junction on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network from the John DeVita Broadcast Center on Wednesday, September the 11th. Oh, yeah, 9/11. Chicago Junction was produced and directed by John DeVita, and our special thanks to the executive producer, of Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network, Mr. John Chicando. This program was pre-recorded on Wednesday, September 11th. Until next time, friends, please be safe, and thanks for listening.
October 9th. Freehold with second Wednesday, right?
Huh?
Second Wednesday.
Yep.
Yeah, October 9th.